Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How are we getting on? So, Bethesda have released a few more details about the upcoming patch 12, which is due out on Tuesday the 20th, a couple of days from now. And it's got pretty much what we'd expect, with a bit more information on the upcoming Vault Raid, which is the big feature from the new patch. Something I think a good few of us are looking forward to. Set in Vault 94 there. And they've also released a few details on this weekend's legendary item sale that the Purveyor is holding, and a little bit of a retrospective on Meat Week as well. So let's jump in and take a look, shall we? So, nice little picture of the vault entrance to Vault 94, better than the one I managed to take, which is making me ever so slightly jealous, but there we go. So, this week the Purveyor is kicking off a legendary sale at a shop in Berkeley Springs. We're sharing a deeper look into our first Vault Raid coming into Fallout 76 with patch 12. Spacious, they're quite useful, those things. So we've rounded out some stats showing you how you celebrated Meat Week in our most recent seasonal event. Read on, catch all the details. Wonderful. So first things first, the Purveyor sale event. That's happening this weekend. It starts today, which is the 15th, through till Monday the 19th at 12 PM Eastern Daytime, which should be, what are we looking at? Probably about 6 PM in the UK, I think. So, yeah, do keep your eyes out for that one. Maybe a little earlier than that. Certainly by the time this video goes up anyway. And that runs through till a similar time on Monday. So if you're looking to get some legendary gear, got some legendary script you'd like to shift, now is as good an opportunity as any to get as much value for money as you can. So the Purveyor has been wheeling and dealing in Appalachia for a little while now, and she decided it's time to kick off her very first sale on all the legendary items in her arsenal. So for the next few days you can visit Purveyor Murmrgh to get 25% off any legendary items and you buy with legendary script. Say over the weekend between today and Monday. So, short, sweet, and to the point. Good opportunity to spend any script you might be hoarding. So, the big news. Vault 94 Vault Raid Preview. We've got some cool pictures of it here, which I quite like. Some interesting first look inside the vault. Looks like it's in keeping with a lot of people's theories that the overgrown nature of the mire and a lot of the plants and things that are going on up there stem from this vault and the experiments that were going on there. So that's quite cool. Hopefully we'll be getting a load more lore and details about that as we investigate the depths of Vault 94. So, situated on the border between the Mire and the Savage Divide, Vault 94 was once home to a utopian community of dwellers. Armed with nothing but a stockpile of seeds and the vault suits on their back, that's pretty basic, these pacifistic people were charged with restoring the Earth's natural abundance in the wake of the Great War. Vault's door rolled open exactly 1 year after the bombs fell. Now, that's interesting, especially as we can't get in there at the moment. I think we would be able to, but that explains why there's nobody home. Those who had been living safely within its confines found the wasteland and groups of other survivors on the outside to be less than welcoming of their arrival. Vault 94 remains, though its inhabitants are long gone, and it has been completely overrun by nature. Yet something within now threatens its destruction. Daring Appalachian explorers will need to brave the many perils if they wish to save Vault 94, find out what became of its former residents, and recover the precious resources hidden within. So, hopefully a little more information on what happened to these people. It's interesting because there's nothing in the game to date, which is unsurprising I suppose, about encounters with people from Vault 94. And a year after the bombs fell, we know there were still plenty of people around Appalachia, so as long before the Scorched Blade took everybody else out. So you'd think there'd be a bit more on the interactions floating around, so hopefully we find a few bits of lore popping up around the map as well regarding that. But obviously with this coming out like nearly a year later, it's not really surprising we haven't got any information, but interesting to see how they're going to work with that. Bring some backup. With the arrival of patch 12 on August 20th, players will be able to storm Vault 94 to join our first Vault Raid, which offers some of the most challenging experiences we've brought to Fallout 76 to date. So far, I'd say the most challenging experiences are probably the Scorched Beast Queen, possibly Project Paradise, because there's some pretty challenging high-level stuff in there. The Encrypted event, that's probably the major points of the most challenging elements. So if it's up there with Encrypted, Scorched Beast Queen in terms of its difficulty, it probably won't be Scorched Beast Queen level of crazy, because, you know, a group of 4 is going to have a hard time with a Scorched Beast Queen. I mean, you could probably do it if you're geared and prepared and so on and so forth, but it would not be easy. So it seems likely that this should be a good challenge. Assuming it lives up to that, hopefully it will. Certainly Encrypted did better than, say, the Burrows did, so apart from the expense of launching the event anyway. So yeah, hopefully a good challenge in there. And we've got a few different difficulty levels as well, depending on how confident you're feeling, how strong your group is, that sort of thing. The bold adventurers can attempt to go it alone. We recommend assembling a full team of level 50 plus characters. Take on the timed and instance missions you will encounter. Once your team is ready, tune into Vault 94 emergency broadcast radio station to make your way inside the vault. Okay, so entrance via a radio signal. It's presumed, because obviously the vault is instance, and it's the first time they've used full-blown instancing technology in the game. It's also kind of a pre-test, from what I understand, for some of the stuff they'll be doing with Wastelanders when that drops. So that should be kind of interesting. But yeah, it's, with the first time they've used it, it's interesting to see how they're going to incorporate it into the existing game and bring you from the main game world into that instance. I assume there'll be loading screens involved. Just about every game I've played with any instancing in it uses that particular means, but it'll be interesting to see how they incorporate that into the game without just being just kind of pass through a door basically. So presumably you get a bit more information about what the challenges you have to tackle out that way as well. Something to bear in mind if you're in a group, because you'll need to be able to hear it, so chatter might be a bit of an issue there. This vault is the first dungeon to utilise our new instancing technology, which will prevent other players who are not on your team from interrupting and affecting your mission. We also have better control over the state of the dungeon to ensure every experience is just as fresh as the first time you stepped into Vault 94. To sum it up, the raid is just for your team, the encounters are just for your team, and what's inside the vault is just for your team. So, interesting. Not quite sure what they're referring to with having more control here. I think that's going to be one of the more interesting points, but hopefully it means that any issues they have, they'll be able to deal with more easily. Fingers crossed. And hopefully it means a better reset facility as well. Please note, as this is new instancing technology coming to the game for the first time in patch 12, we're currently planning to open Vault 94 first on PC on August 20th. Consoles, you're going to have to wait a little bit, unfortunately. If Vault raids on PC run smoothly over the following days, we will open the Vault for consoles. They haven't given us specific details on the plan there, because it obviously depends entirely on how the initial test on PC runs. Patch 12 will still be released across all platforms on the same day, so everybody will get everything else on Tuesday. However, the staggering the release of Vault 94 between platforms will allow us more flexibility to address the issues that may not be apparent until a larger player base gains access to Vault 94 than our internal playtests allow. So it's worth mentioning Bethesda Bethesda Game Studios specifically, as a game developing company, have around and about 400 to 500 people working here. That's across 4 sites, I believe. So there's only one of those 4 sites working on Fallout 76 at the moment. The other 3 are working on various other things, primarily Starfield. So you're looking at probably 100 or so people, give or take. And then only a subset of those that are available to do internal playtesting. So the jump from that to live servers is massive, and one of the major reasons people are suggesting they have public test servers, although they've never done that before, so implementing that's taking a little while as well. So this is why there might be a few teething problems. So obviously they're acknowledging that here, and it's something to bear in mind. It looks like they've got a plan in place to sort of build things up and check things out and hopefully iron out any creases that might appear during the first few days. Fingers crossed they won't have too many problems. Judging by what they were saying at QuakeCon and so on, they seem reasonably confident. On the other hand, it doesn't always go according to plan, as we well know, so something to be aware of. If significant issues are discovered, we can disable the raid on PC until we've implemented necessary fixes and then bring Vault 94 back online for all platforms. So there's a fair chance that if there are issues, which, let's be fair, there is a good chance something's going to crop up, especially with a massive jump from a few people playing it really to the main live player base, then they'll likely bring it down probably after the weekend. Monday would be my guess. Well, actually, no, they're bringing it up on Tuesday, so who knows, maybe the end of the week, maybe Friday, something like that. And hopefully fix it and then reintroduce it the week following, or however long it takes to repair, depending on the issues. So, something to be aware of. As I say, we should cross our collective digits and hope that everything goes according to plan, but there's a little bit of an acknowledgement of potential issues and how they're going to tackle them there, which is good to know about. Good to know they're addressing that and being open about how they're going to tackle it and their expectations, which is cool. So, a few more details. There will be a new mission each week on a 3-week rolling schedule. So, different objectives, different goals, different challenges each week for the Vault Raid. Something that I suspect, assuming it all goes according to plan, of course, they will do for subsequent Vault Raids as well, which they have alluded to. Vault 96, I believe, is the plan for Vault number 2. Sometime probably before Wastelanders, assuming everything goes okay with 94. We'll see. So, Vault 94 offers 3 separate missions that feature different objectives for you to conquer. One mission will be available at any given time and will last for 1 week. Each mission returns every 3 weeks, so if you don't manage to complete one in time, don't worry, you can always regroup and try again later. So, it'll be 1 week and it'll be 1 mission, week 2 will be the next one, week 3 will be the next one, back round on week 4 to the first one again, and so on, as we'd expect. You squad can tackle the first mission, Dead in the Water, as soon as the door to Vault 94 opens on each platform. Meltdown and Washout will become available on all platforms during the following weeks on August 27th and September the 3rd, respectively. It's also important to note that Vault 94 will be temporarily resealed for around 3 hours each week, as one mission comes to an end and the next is prepared to begin. So it'll effectively be like a mini hotfix to switch the missions out, I think. That's basically the vibe I'm getting from this. It's not quite as simple as flicking a switch. There's a few changes they need to make, but also not massive if it's only a few hours. It'll also be probably timed along with any hotfixes they might issue as well with everything else, I should imagine, assuming they have to do that. So, perhaps a point to note, those on console will get a shorter crack at the first mission, at least the first time around from the look of this, because that will start on the 20th, and then presumably, a week later, the 27th, the following Tuesday, is when the next mission will start. So if you're on console, or if there's issues and they have to take it down, we'll have less time to tackle that first one until the second one starts, and then we'll be jumping into that, and so on. From the look of things, it looks like the basic rewards are the same, irrespective of which one you're tackling. It just changes what you have to do and the way you move through the vault, from the sound of it. Which is cool. It should keep you to run through reasonably fresh, or fresher for longer, which is good. Good idea, I think. So, you will also be able to choose one of 3 difficulty modes every time you play through a mission: Novice, Standard, or Expert. Novice mode is not timed, but Standard and Expert are, each one having a more challenging time limit, and more challenging encounters as well. If you run out of time or your entire squad is wiped out during a mission, you'll need to start over and give it another shot. Of course, the more difficult the mode you choose, the better the loot you'll receive if you're successful. Okay, so one question I'm left with is, what if 3 players go for, say, the Expert mode and 1 goes for Novice? How's that going to work out? Is it just going to tell you that that doesn't work, or is one player going to be set to group leader and they'll choose it? Don't know. Could cause issues. My guess off the top of my head, obviously not seen this yet, is that a group leader will just select the difficulty and then everybody else runs through with that. But it'd be interesting to see how they do that. I think that's the only reasonably practical way of doing it. So, claim new rewards. We've got to look at the new armor sets here, something we've seen before. It was teased at QuakeCon as well. Explorers who manage to come out on top after tackling the trials of Vault 94 will be able to lay claim to some exciting rewards, including XP, caps, improved repair kits, and I think I stand by my previous opinion that I think it takes away an element of the challenge, those repair kits, but they're not the end of the world, really. Previously, the only place you could get those was from defeating the Scorchbeast Queen. Now this adds another, basically an end-game piece of content. That's what the Vault Raids basically are. Well, they're supposed to be anyway. We'll see how it actually pans out. So it's a new end-game element, and the improved repair kits are effectively, as the previously only Scorchbeast Queen drops, they've effectively become an end-game reward. So it kind of stands to reason that they'd appear here. It's a tad unexpected. So you'll also get crafting materials, as well as items like weapons, armor, and plans. So from the sound of this, you'll get legendary enemies, more depending on which difficulty level you go for, as well as general weapon drops, armor drops, sort of thing. crafting materials as you'd expect. The thing that is going to get interesting is when you go for either the standard or the expert modes. So the players who complete missions on standard or expert modes will plunder some of Vault 94's most prized possessions. This includes plans you can use to craft new Vault armor sets at armor workbenches, like the Strangler Heart set, pictured above, which will offer special bonuses to the wearer. Vault armor plans cannot be earned in novice mode, or if you've already learned all of the plans. So hopefully we won't have a duplication issue, fingers crossed. It also sounds from this, there's a bit of a subtle implication here, like that the what we call Strangler Heart sets that we can see up here, which look to be based on power armor and metal armor there from the look of things, are only one set of the new armors available. It sounds like there will be a range of other ones. I know there's been some data mining of this and some information that's gone out online already, but I've kind of decided to avoid it, mostly for spoilers. Still not made my mind up on whether or not I'm actually going to pursue this before the patch comes out, but it does sound like there'll be a range of new armor sets available that presumably have been developed inside Vault 94 and are unique that you'll be able to get as a result of playing through the missions. Question is, are they all going to be basically the same style, like the Strangler Heart one? Or is it, and therefore you're going to get like the metal version, which we can see here, and then maybe a combat armor version, maybe a marine armor version, so on and so forth? Or are they going to be fully different? That's what I'm curious about. Hopefully the fully different thing, there'll be a complete range of interesting things in there. But looking forward to seeing what we've got there. From the sound of things, there's going to be more than just the one style of armor though, so that would be very, very cool. It certainly expands the number of reasons you have to repeat the Vault raids, beyond obviously just farming it for legendaries. Speaking of, when you complete missions in any difficulty mode, you will also earn some Vault 94 steel, which is a new resource you will need to craft your Vault armor, presumably only available from the Vault 94 raid. The sound of things, once Vault 96 comes out, you'll get different rewards, different crafting materials required for those unique rewards, and you'll only be able to acquire those in that specific vault as well. That would be my guess. But from the look of it, the only place to get Vault 94 steel is Vault 94. Kind of stands to reason. So, Vault mission rewards can be earned once per difficulty mode, per mission, per day. Okay, so that's fairly involved. For example, while you can earn novice, standard, and expert rewards from Dead in the Water in a single day, you cannot earn rewards from that same mission and difficulty multiple times per day. So this looks to me like Dead in the Water, for example, the first week's mission, you'll be able to do at each difficulty level, novice, standard, and expert, once per day and get the rewards. You'll be able to do it more times than that, but you'll only get the rewards once per day. So once that resets, you'll be able to do it again. So every day you'll get the rewards 3 times from the look at this. And then you'll get the new mission for the next week. I think the implication with the per mission thing is if you happen to run through it on the changeover day, which will probably be a Tuesday, you'll be able to run through Dead in the Water, for example, in the morning. Then it'll close down for 3 hours, open up the next mission, and you'll be able to jump in and do the whole lot again. But you will still only be able to do each mission's set once. So you basically, once a week, you'll be able to get potentially 6 sets of rewards. It's a little vague and a little complex. We'll have to see once we actually get in there, but I think that's what they're getting at. It seems to apply to the new Vault armors and the materials required to craft them, so worth noting. The other thing is that once they're earned, Vault 94 steel or crafted pieces of Vault armor are yours to keep, presumably including the plans for them as well. These rewards cannot be dropped, traded, or sold. This is probably part of the reason they're avoiding duplicates, because otherwise you'd wind up with an absolute pile of them if you can't drop them. But it should mean that basically you won't be able to buy the rewards in people's camp player vending trading machines, or from vendors or anything like that if anybody sells them. You'll only be able to get them by running through the events. So the basic idea, I assume, is to keep them relatively exclusive and to keep the desire to play the event, I suppose, going, and prevent those really high-level players from just running through, farming absolutely tons and tons of rewards, and then selling them on for an absurd number of caps. So it basically maintains the value of doing the event, I think, which is fair. I don't have any objections to that. Makes sense to me. We hope you have an absolute blast heading into Vault 94 after patch 12 is released next week. Be sure to let us know what you think once you've had a chance to play through your first mission by sharing your feedback with us on the Fallout 76 forums or on the Fallout 76 subreddit. I'm glad to see they're being a little more specific now on exactly where they want to see feedback shared, because there were a number of possible places before and some felt more reliable than others, and apparently the best places are directly on the 76 forums or on the subreddit. So you've got a specific place now as to where you can go to make sure that your feedback is getting into the hands of the right people, really. It's useful information. Patch 12 contains many improvements for Fallout 76 beyond the addition of Vault 94, including display cases that you can use to show off your gear in your camp. In case you missed it, you can catch even more details about Patch 12 and display cases in last week's Inside the Vault. So if you have a look on the card up in the corner there, you can see my little overview of that one from last week. Yeah. Ultimately, I'm thinking the Vault raids look pretty darn cool. The Purveyor sale event's fun. It's kind of inconveniently timed for me, I think, but there we go. It is what it is. Looking forward to seeing what the deal with the Vault raids is. They've not given as much information as I might like regarding the potential rewards, but I suppose at the same time that's not surprising. They want you to get in there and find them for yourself. Restricting them to not being sold basically, as I say, maintains the value of the event, I think, for me. And I think I'm generally in favour of that move. It's going to be a little challenging. I mean, it is a multiplayer event. It is an endgame event. So those who don't do a lot of multiplayer are kind of locked out a little bit, which kind of sad. But at the same time, the number of full-on multiplayer events in the game that have to be done that way are actually quite small, really, at the moment. So swings and roundabouts. It has been implied that you can tackle it solo if you're properly prepared and ready. You're unlikely to reap the full benefits, but presumably if you're a high enough level, you will be able to do so. The devs basically said at QuakeCon that they can't do it solo, apart from maybe one or two of them. But my assumption would also be that they're running it on Novice, which also prevents you from getting the best rewards, particularly the new armor sets. So if you're not playing in a group, maybe hold off, make sure you're a really high level, maybe run a few times on Novice just to figure out what's what, and then figure out how to gear yourself towards that, and then hopefully try it on Standard, I'm guessing, because I don't imagine Expert's going to be very viable. Maybe if you're crazy high level, but something to bear in mind. I'd imagine there'll be systems put in place to help you find a group. I assume there'll be a matchmaking system attached to this. They haven't said anything about that, which is strange. But you'd think they would include a matchmaking system. And I know some people are setting up their camps nearby and setting up arrangements so that they can find groups to go and play with and to help other people do the same thing, which is quite cool. Certainly, at least in the short term, anyway, until they get bored of doing that. So, something to look out for. And hopefully, possibly Tuesday night, more likely on Wednesday, I'll be taking a look at Vault 94 and having a run through it. Depending on what happens, we might have a crack at it on solo at Novice, but I can't imagine that going well. So hopefully, if you guys are on PC and are interested in joining in with that, then please do make sure you watch out for the stream. Make sure you've got that bell notification hit and all that good stuff. It'll be in the evening in UK time. Certainly the Wednesday I'll try and make it a bit earlier, but I'll be probably doing a patch notes video on the Tuesday, so that's likely to be a bit of a later stream. So something to watch out for. Hopefully you guys will want to join in. If you do, I would strongly recommend dropping down in the description and joining my Discord server, because I would prefer to maintain the voice comms and the group through that. It's just a little bit more practical for the streaming side of things like that. But we'll see how it goes. You know what the in-game voice chat's like with loading screens, things like that. It's a bit of a pain, so Discord's probably the best way to go on that if you have the option. And obviously it's infinitely preferable if people have microphones and things like that if they want to join in, because communication and all that good stuff. So something to bear in mind. But hopefully we'll get a few people together and we'll have a bit of a run through. So I'm looking forward to that. Do you want to hear your thoughts on this and whether or not you're looking forward to it, what you're looking forward to trying out, and any speculation and guesses as to what we might find in there would be always interesting to hear. So do drop me a comment, let me know what you think. As always, social media links down in the description as well. So do catch up with me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all that good stuff. And please do consider dropping a like and a sub if you enjoyed the video. It's very, very much appreciated. And if you're really enjoying the content, please do consider becoming a channel member as well. The support is massively, massively appreciated. And we have a couple of cool perks as well. So you check those out via the join button as well. For now, thank you very much for watching. I look forward to speaking to you all very, very soon.